Today, in my birthplace of Abaco, happened to be the 30th of April, 2024. Another month is swiftly passing. And I was watching a video with a guy that feels the same way I feel about corruptions, and how he said corrupt people create a corrupt society. And that is what happening in the Dundas Town Committee. We got a bunch of corrupt people. I have not been, as an elected member of the Dundas Town Committee, I have not been given notice by the administrator nor the secretary of Dundas Town for a meeting in about 5 to 6 months. I was shocked yesterday that the new administrator, Ms. Ferguson, for the first time in 5 or 6 months, that she gave me a notice of a Dundas Town Committee meeting to be held next month. That means nearly 300 people that voted for Kai Mills didn't have their voice heard around the table. And all the members that sit there, they're just as bad, because somebody should say, even the secretary that we pay for, why is Kai not given notice of the meeting? Because when you sit around the table with a bunch of corrupt local government officials, they don't want to hear from you. Last meeting I went to, they even want to censor you, telling the secretary not to record what Kai Mills is saying until I say so. That's the kind of chairman we have, that believe that only his mother born a child in Dundas Town that have sense. It's corruption to the highest. And it gets worse when a guy talk about the corruption. It can't get no worse in Abaco after Hurricane Dorian. It seems like a wave of corruption has encamped over Abaco. If you're not corrupt, you're not saying anything. Get a piece of this corrupt pie and you'll be okay just for today. Integrity has been thrown out the window. When I could go to the police chief, Will Hart, one of the worst police chief, and still is the worst police chief that we have in Abaco. We're praying God, and we're waiting, not like Job, but we're waiting for that swift response from the commissioner of police to rid us of a police chief such as Will Hart, that Kai Mills could go to him privately and tell him how the Dundas Town Committee is extorting money and money laundering, having their own bank account of a government funds that should be put in the consolidated funds. 3 days after that, I was locked up. A month later, I did another video. I was sent to Fox Hill. And we got guys out here that has murdered people, and they haven't seen Fox Hill yet. This can't be right. The corruption, I saw a video with Singapore. The Prime Minister of Singapore said it starts from the top. If a person like Kai Mills can be brave enough to go to the police chief, Will Hart, and report crime of an elected official that in their own capacity has elected 7 more people to carry out their crime, Dundas Town is officially the only district in the Family Islands that has officially 14 people elected to a slot that should only have 7. And the 7 that is elected has more power to corrupt, to charge rent, to extort money, to money launder it into our bank accounts. And everybody ought to know that money laundering is a serious crime in every country besides Abaco. But corruption, when it starts within the police force at the very top, that you can't report a crime unless you're locked up. You think they're going to solve any murders? You think they're going to solve any heinous crime? It is time, Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernanda, to stop the bleeding. Abaco is looking for a police chief that we could be proud to say that he's looking out for the best interest and detaining and detecting crime wherever it may be. He don't be selected on the persons that report crime. He's then telling the criminals it is okay to do crime. People like Kai Mills, we will keep them locked up and locked away. That can't be right. Corruption helps nobody, only those people that are corrupt. But the society is suffering. Dundastan, Murphytown, Dundastan is suffering because we have a police chief such as Wilhard that the government can't find or ought to find enough reason to remove him from Abaco, because nobody wins with corruption. Even the people that are not corrupt, they try to make them to seem to be corrupt by sending them to jail. It is time that Wilhard be removed out of Abaco, because Kai is speaking for over 1,000 persons that voted for me in 2 elections, and Kai cares. Corruptions, nobody win. Only Wilhard does. People don't win. Abaco is losing because of Wilhard.